Hello to everyone on behalf of Senator Duckworth. My name is Steve Kalish and I am Chief Press Manager for Senator Duckworth. The Senator would like to thank all of Illinois for supporting her during this race to keep serving Illinois at the congressional level. Since she is up for re-election as a delegate, she wanted to take this time to release a statement to the people of Illinois regarding the recent issue of censorship in the media. She realized that America has questions about where she stands on this issue, and I am here to answer those questions on her behalf. The recent court case of NetChoice and the Computer Communications Industry Association versus the state of Texas brought about talk of censorship on private platforms on social media. The Texas government passed legislation that prohibits social media platforms of a certain size to remove contents and statements of users that are based on their quote-unquote viewpoints. In other words, the company cannot remove users based on their opinions or the statements and opinions expressed on their platforms by these users simply because the company disagrees with them. The law is commonly referred to as House Bill 20. This bill applies only to social media sites with over 50 million active users. NetChoice sued the Texas government over this issue and won their lawsuit. However, the Texas government repealed, and the Court of Appeals overturned the verdict and sided with the government of Texas. The legislation is now valid and active. This issue is revolved around the First Amendment and the right to speech. The government cannot censor people if they are expressing their opinions without hurting anybody. The government must protect the free speech of every individual despite their own opinions and the opinions of the public about them. The issue and disagreement over it have, like many other issues, divided Americans. Studies show that almost all American adults believe that social media sites already censor content, at least somewhat. And most Americans believe that social media sites are already likely to censor. Most Americans as a whole think that social media sites are somewhat favoring liberal content and censoring more conservative media. The public is split about whether social media platforms should be able to do this, but most are in agreement that the social media sites are not reliable enough to regulate themselves when flagging content. This brings up a lot of issues such as what social media platforms this law should apply to. Should they apply to all of them? Only the big ones? What defines a platform that is private in ownership but public in the sense that enough people use it as part of their life that it becomes so common in our culture? Where is the division of the Bill of Rights when it comes to private companies? Should opinions on private industry sites be allowed to be expressed against their wishes? What about the company's speech? Censorship on private platforms could be used to stop the spread of opinions that the company does not agree with or does not conform with the employees that work there. What of them and where are they to fade away into time? We must ponder misinformation. Can we draw the line at taking down false statements? Who would judge statements that are true versus false? Who would fact check them? Could there be a possibility of bias or incorrect labeling or misinformation? What are the answers to these questions, and what is the morally right thing to do to protect democracy and the rights of the people? Of course, what does this issue have to do with Illinois? The state of Texas and its legislation should not impact the lives of people in this state. Some might think this is not about Texas, but rather this is about America as a whole. We are not here to weigh on their business, but rather we are here to discuss the future of Illinois and the changing public opinion about speech on social media platforms. America is now divided on this issue and there is much controversy according to it. When it is private to the argument of free speech on private rights, where is the line drawn? Americans are divided into their own opinions and interpretations of the Bill of Rights and when it applies to public versus private entities. This cannot be one of those issues that divides Americans. At At this time, the issue must not divide us, but rather we must come together to find a compromise and an answer to this debate about censorship and freedom of speech. We must find that balance between protecting the ability to express ourselves online and our thoughts and stop those from spreading hurtful speech or comments or thoughts about others when it is not appropriate. Senator Duckworth asks America to come together behind her as she brings forth this issue to Congress. If she were to be reelected, she would answer the voters' wishes and bring this to the national level. This is not the time to pick a side and to label one viewpoint right or wrong. Most conservatives would think that censoring viewpoints is wrong objectively, no matter what happens, no matter where those opinions are stated. The senator does not care whether you are voting for her or not. She wants your opinions as a representative of all the people of Illinois. Write and contact her with your opinions and ideas. This issue must be resolved and is not going to be solved by one person's own ideas. The solution lies within the minds of the citizens, and her job as a delegate is to bring forth the people's ideas and desires to the National Congress. Senator Duckworth would love to hear all of your opinions as we come closer to Election Day. We must be a country that works with our representatives to elect legislation that aligns with public opinion and the idea of current culture in America. Please go out and vote in these next elections and vote for a candidate that is willing to work with you, not against you, no matter who you are. Thank you.